Welcome back. It is Friday, April 19th in the NBA. My two best bets are on the way. We got two win or go home games. My favorite pick for each of them is incoming. But first, we must do a recap of how we did on Wednesday. A little 2-0 mini sweep. We will take that. We had Tyler Heroes over in PRAs. He made me want to throw something for 3/4, but it came through in the fourth. We'll take that. Then Kobe White, he made me want to do other things because, man, his over 19.5 points was sweat-free. He had 42. An absolute legacy game for Mr. Kobe White, a career high. 2-0. The goal is to do that once again today. But before we dive into today's picks, I do want to talk about Parlay Play. And listen up, because I love Parlay Play for a couple different reasons. Number one, if you're like me, it's available in Florida, which is an absolute W. As a lot of you guys know, PrizePicks, Sleeper, Underdog Fantasy, those were given the boot from Florida. But Parlay Play is still here, and they also have a free square live right now for Damian Lillard to score 1 point. He's going to get that done on Sunday when he takes on the Pacers. And they also, if you use our code COS or the link in the description, you get a match on your first deposit up to $100. Hey, pretty sweat-free, pretty free money. Take advantage of that. Use our code COS or the link in the description, and you get that match on your first deposit. But without further ado, we're on a 26-9 run. Let's try to continue that. Now, I want to talk about these games first and foremost, because these games are a little tricky. Number one, elimination games. You're always going to get very, very tough defense. You're probably going to get lower scoring games, hence the over-unders. But not only that, the elimination games are hard to predict as is. Not only that, you got two teams missing their best player. Now you got Zion Williamson out for the Pelicans, and you obviously have Jimmy Butler out for the Heat. So it makes it tough. I picked my favorite two that I really like today, but if you want to make sure you limit your unit sizes, don't be forcing like 3 or 4 picks into these games. It's going to be tough to bet. But I really like this first one. Let's dive into it. Also, I forgot to mention Parlay Play. We'll talk about them more at the end of the video. And we're going to have an entry that you can definitely tail if you want to. But let's talk about this first one. Going to the Heat game when they're obviously taking on Chicago Bulls. Bam Adebayo over 25.5 points plus assists, minus 120 on DraftKings. I like his overs in both points and assists, but I will combine them here, obviously, because there is a chance Bam just is like, you know what, I ain't passing to you scrubs. I'm going to drop 25 points, and I certainly could think he could do that. However, there's also a world where he drops, 18 points, and I honestly could think he could get 8 assists. It wouldn't surprise me. If you want to go crazy and do a triple-double, unlikely, but that would be kind of nuts if you got that done. Now, I like it at 26.5, although I probably would just lean towards his over in points if that was the only line you had. Now, in their first play-in game, Adebayo was basically a non-factor. 31 minutes, 10 points, only 9 shots, 1 assist. He just didn't do anything. And he got into early foul trouble, which kind of threw off his rhythm. Obviously, he had to guard Joel Embiid, which was his number one priority. In today's matchup, I think his priority switches a little bit, and he has to become more of a scorer because, honestly, I'd argue he has the best matchup for the Miami Heat tonight, as he is going to be defended by Nikola Vucevic of the Chicago Bulls or Andre Drummond off the bench. Two matchups that I think he will be able to feast against, and he's feasted against them before. In his last 4 games against the Chicago Bulls, he's had 33, 27, 29, and 29 points plus assists on 15, 17, 12, and 14 field goal attempts. This matchup against Vucevic has been one he's been like, all right, let's go. Let's eat. And I just think he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. Obviously, with Jimmy Butler out, his line has been inflated. But when we see Adebayo and Butler without Butler, he typically has a much higher usage rate, a lot more field goal attempts, and has the ball in his hands a lot more. And I think he can take Vucevic one-on-one off the dribble. But I also think there's obviously a ton of lob opportunities, just to get the ball in the paint, because we know the Chicago Bulls are a very good defense, but they kind of struggle within the paint in terms of centers scoring in the paint down there. They also struggle on the three-point line. But I don't obviously expect Bam to be spamming threes, although if he is, then this will be a sweat-free one. But in Bam's last 12 games without Jimmy Butler, he has averaged 22.8 points per game and 5.3 assists per game, good for 28.1 points plus assists. He's averaged a little over 15 field goal attempts and a little over 5 free throw attempts too. He's over this line in 10 of 12 such games. So look, Bam has to get more involved early. I don't see him having a huge role on, well, he'll obviously play very good defense, but he won't have to be, locked in 100% of the time, especially with Nikola Vucevic there. He's still obviously one of the best defenders in the league, and he'll do his job there. But we just saw Clint Capella had 22 points and 4 assists. Capella never gets assists. He had 4 of them things. He had 22 points too, and all he does is catch lob dunks and do post hooks. I really think this is a spot where Bam has to be aggressive. I don't love the matchup for Tyler Hero, although I do think he gets close to his regular lines. I just think this is a spot where Bam Adebayo gets the ball right at the elbow, right at the free throw line, and he's going to give Vucevic a world of trouble down there. So, and I don't think the Bulls will converge on him a ton because I don't think they want to leave open the Miami Heat shooters, especially when they're on the road. So I really like Bam tonight. I know he's not a guy that a lot of people really want to trust, but I really like his matchup tonight. I think this is a spot where we see him approach 18 to 20 shots, and if Bam's getting that number, it's probably a good chance he's doing good things with it. So give me his over 25.5 points plus assists. Probably going to see a lot of point guard Bam Adebayo tonight running the offense for him, which which is why I tacked on the assist there. But that's my favorite pick in that game. I'm not going to go to any other picks. I don't love the Bulls lines. I see a lot of people on DeRozan's under in points and over in assists. I don't hate that. I considered Kobe White once again today, but it's just not a great matchup. This is going to be a lower scoring game, but I think Bam's going to be a big priority for getting going for the Heat side, because last game he did not get going, and hence why they lost that game. Obviously, Hero did his job. Butler did his job. Well, didn't do his job well. He was injured, and now he's obviously out. I just think Bam's in for a good game. I know he's sketchy, but I think Bam's going to deliver us a winner. Now, my second pick. This one's going to be a little bit tricky. Before you go down below and comment and asking questions about it, I do want to at least try to answer as many of those questions here. Obviously, you can still comment down below whatever you feel like, and I'll try to read and respond to as many comments as I can, because it is a two-leg same-game parlay. It's obviously going to the Kings and Pelicans game. Here's my two-leg. Domantas Sabonis over 16.5 points, and Trey Murphy of the Pelicans 12+ points, minus 120 on BetMGM. Now, this is minus 130 on DraftKings. FanDuel, who I'd argue is a pretty sharp book, minus 150. So if you're on FanDuel, I would not take it at minus 150. Either sign up for BetMGM or maybe tack on another leg you like. I considered Brandon Ingram 15 points, but he does not look healthy. I still think he scores 15 because, well, kind of has to, but I don't want to tack on Brandon Ingram there if I don't have to. And minus 120 on BetMGM, playable price there. Minus 130, good. Would not play minus 150. Now, why am I taking Sabonis at 16.5? His line is 18.5, which is where I'm going to try to answer some questions. Now, I like Sabonis at 18.5. He's probably my favorite play in this parlay and my favorite player prop in this game. I just have been burned by Sabonis way too many times, and he loves to end on 17 and 18 points. Don't believe me? Well, he's ended on 17 or 18 points on the dot. One of those 2 points, 16 games this season. 16 games. He gets really close to that 18.5 line, and I just don't want to get burned by him landing on 17 or 18. If he doesn't get the 16.5, fine. I'll tip my cap and say, you know what? Bad read, Austin. You're terrible. But I also think that Trey Murphy will get us to 12 points. We'll talk about him in a second. But I think Sabonis gets us the 17 that we need. And I think he hits the 18.5. I just would be kicking myself inside if he ends with 17 or 18, being like, you know what? I knew that. He loves to end on those two numbers. Now, when I think about this game, from the sense of what are the Kings and Pelicans going to come in here and want to do? If I'm the Pelicans defensively, and I am not Willie Green, their head coach, but if I'm going to come in here, my goal is to slow down Fox scoring, which they got Herb Jones. They'll try their best there, and slow down Keegan Murray and those off-ball actions, dribble handoffs with Sabonis. Now, if I am the Pelicans, it is make Sabonis a scorer. Because if you're saying, hey, Sabonis, a guy that does not shoot threes, go in there and bang around down inside with Jonas Valanciunas or Larry Nance. Trust your defensive rim protection, which is pretty good. I'm going to make Sabonis beat me with 2-pointers. And I think if they do that, they'll probably win this game. However, by doing that, I think Sabonis has a pretty good game, and I think he steps up and at least scores and gets a lot of field goal attempts in volume. Is it the best matchup in the world for Sabonis? No, but this is a matchup that he's played really well in, because I think that that's the Pelicans' game plan is, hey, Sabonis, you go beat us with 2-pointers. Because at the end of the day, if you're relying on a guy to make 2-pointers against some tough defense, they have good rim protection, it's going to be a tough world for Mr. Sabonis. But we've seen in his last 4 games versus the Pelicans, Sabonis has scored 23, 26, 17, and 18 points. 2 of those games where he ended on 17 and 18 or in this series. And he's only done that in 11, 12, 12, 12 field goal attempts. So not a lot of field goal attempts in there. In their first playing game, we saw him attempt 14 shots. He's shot really efficiently versus the Pelicans defense, and I think that's going to continue tonight. I think this is a guy with Sabonis we know has a lot of rim touch around the rim, and then I really think that just he's going to be in for a good spot, because I don't like the matchup for Keegan Murray, who does not show up on the road. Don't love it for Harrison Barnes. Don't love it for De'Aaron Fox. Don't expect Keon Ellis to have a pretty big game. So I think Sabonis is the guy that has to play well. In their last game between these two teams, which just was a few weeks ago, Fox had 33, Keegan Murray had 19, Barnes even had 22. All these guys went off. Sabonis still managed 18 points, and on the other side, Trey Murphy scored 27. So I really like Sabonis today. I think that is the Pelicans' game plan is, hey, make Sabonis become a scorer and not a, hey, I'm getting 10 assists on you. Because if he's getting 10 assists, it's in for a bad spot for the Pelicans to win this game. I like Sabonis as a scorer tonight. I know it's scary, but I think he has a good game scoring the basketball. I would take the 18.5 points, but I really just feel like he ends with like 17 or 18 and it pisses me off. So I'll take 16.5 for a little bit of safety there, but I really do think he gets into the 20-point territory. Now, as for Trey Murphy, If Sabonis gets the job done and Trey Murphy does not, I will be very angry. But Trey Murphy's just been really consistent. And without Zion, he's going to play a lot of minutes. And in his last 7 games for Sacramento, he's cooked them 14, 30, 17, 17, 16, 11, and 27 points. As I said, no Zion in the lineup likely leads to Trey starting. And like I said, Brandon Ingram, he doesn't look good. And then you got CJ McCollum. I like how Trent calls him CJ McCoin Stealer. I like that. CJ, I honestly consider his overtime, but he's going to get Keon Ellis on him, and Keon did a really, really good job on Stephen Curry. So I'm going to look at Trey Murphy. He's a guy that's never seen a shot I didn't like, and I think he's a guy that can cut to the hoop and get some lands there. If you close out too hard on him, he can dribble past you and maybe get to the free throw line or get to the rim and can do that. I just think he gets 12 points. His regular line's like 16.5 or 17.5. I don't love that, but I think he gets 12. This is a guy that will play a lot of minutes tonight, maybe even approach 40. He's going to shoot the ball when he gets some open opportunities in transition. I'll be firing it, and I really think Trey Murphy gets us 12. My hope is that at least Trey gets us 12, and I live or die with Sabonis, because Sabonis is my regular player prop in this one. I just didn't love the 18.5 line. If it was 17.5, that's probably my play, but it was 18.5, a line that I swear he ends with 17 or 18 a ton of different times. I really like this 2-leg SGP. Is it weird? Yes, but I really like these two fellows. I like their matchup. So I will take it. Let's hope it doesn't burn us. -120 on BetMGM. Those are my 2 favorite picks of the day. We'll wrap up the video with a parlay play entry. As a reminder, they have a free square for Damian Lillard to score 1 point. Take advantage of that. They also are available in Florida, as well as a bunch of other U.S. states. I don't know if that makes sense, but you get what I mean. And also, if you use our code COS, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Take advantage of that. I put 4 legs here. They also have some cool alternate lines, which is really cool. You see on that first one, McCollum under 25.5 points. That is an alt line. His regular line is 23.5. Like moving that up a few points. Bam Adebayo's in that 20-plus points. Sabonis is the same line, 16.5. And I like Herb Jones, too, for 10-plus points. So that's $25 turns into $121. Hey, I like it. If you want to tail me, sign up for Parlay Play using our code COS or the link in the description. And you also get that free square for Damian Lillard, which I'll use in Sunday's NBA Best Bets video. So you can use it tonight if you want to. I'll show them I'm using it on Sunday when I promote Parlay Play once again. But you guys have a wonderful Friday. If you want to go check out our favorite picks for the MLB, we're on a quiet 10-3 run over there. Go check it out. That video is posted right before this one. And also I posted a new second channel video, my first time in Dallas to the Rangers game, which you certainly can go check out that as well. But I know it's a longer video for only 2 plays, but I wanted to make sure I concisely explained why I liked each of these plays. I think we have another 2-0 day. So I can see you guys back again tomorrow with some more. Peace!